Wishing you a nice day. Let's go on with some grammar on English lesson for today. We have to talk about countable and uncountable nouns, quantifiers such as many, much, a lot of, a little, a few, partitives, articles a or an, and indefinite pronouns some, any, no, every, and their compounds. Let's go on with countable nouns and the difference from uncountable nouns. When we talk about countable nouns, we may say that they have a singular and plural form. For example, a tree, two trees. We can use a singular verb or a plural verb. And we can count countable nouns. But when we are talking about uncountable nouns, we cannot count. For example, have only one form and no plural. Butter, there are no butters. Or we may always use a singular verb, sugar is sweet. We cannot use articles or numbers, an, or a number in front of them. For example, we cannot say a rice, but just rice, and so on. Uncountable nouns are often abstract ideas, liquid and gases, made of smaller parts, materials, some food, and be careful, uncountable in English. Furniture, advice, work, news, information, luggage, money, and so on. To go on with quantifiers, much, many, a lot of. The words much and many mean a lot of, but we use much with an uncountable noun in singular and many with a countable plural noun. A lot of or lots of we use both for countable and uncountable noun. In everyday English, we normally use much and many in question and negative clauses. In positive clauses with so, as, to, and also use much and many. Ken has so much money. Mary has so many dogs. And so on with examples. When we use much or many means a large quantity of something. Much and many are mainly used in negative sentences and question we just said. They are not common in affirmative sentence, though still possible. Much is always used with uncountable nouns. Many is used with plural countable nouns. With affirmative sentences, we prefer a lot of instead of much or many. When we want to ask about quantity, we use how much for uncountable nouns and how many for countable nouns. For example, how much money do you want? How much sugar are there in the kitchen? How many students are there in the school? How many chairs are there in the kitchen? But when we want to talk about a large quantity, but that is more than normal, we use too much plus a singular noun for uncountable nouns and too many plus plural noun for countable nouns. For example, there's too much salt in my soup. Or, there are too many people in this room. Now let's go on with another quantifier such as a few and a little. We use a little with an uncountable noun. and we use a few with a countable plural noun. A little and a few means some. But when there's no article before them, just little or few, the words have a limiting or negative meaning. For example, I need a little money. I need some money. I need little money. I need hardly any money. Let's go on with the using of indefinite article a or an. We have learned that a plus a consonant sound, there is a bottle on the table, and an plus a vowel sound, there is an apple on the table. But sometimes we may use indefinite pronouns, such as some or any. We use some for affirmative sentences and any for negative and questions. There is some cheese in the fridge. There isn't any cheese in the fridge. Is there any cheese in the fridge? But we sometimes may use some for questions when we offer for help or when we ask or suggest. Would you like some? Can I give you some? Why don't we need some? Now let's go on with partitives. Before the uncountable nouns, we use different partitives. For example, a bottle of milk or 2 bottles of milk, a glass of water, a jug of water, a cup of tea, a packet of tea, a jar of honey, a loaf of bread, a slice of bread, a carton of milk, a can of Coke, a bottle of Coke, a bowl of sugar, a kilo of meat, a bar of soap, a bar of chocolate, a piece of chocolate, a piece of cheese, a piece of furniture. To go on with the last part of our lesson that has to do with indefinite pronouns some, any, no, every, and their compounds. We may form some